Okay, let's go over this last page about the application questions. So let's start at 33. So reading through it says tickets to a concert cost $10 in advance, $15 at the door. If 120 tickets were sold for a total of $1,390, how many of the tickets were purchased in advance? So where to start? We're trying to figure out what combination of advance and door tickets do we have. In order to find that, we need to look at what we're constrained by. Well, they've told us that there's 120 tickets. They've also told us that those tickets were sold for a total revenue of $1,390. So now this is where we need to come up with the two equations. We need an equation for the tickets and an equation for the how much we earn. The one that is pretty evident is the $10 in advance and the $15 at the door. Because if I have $10 for every advance ticket, I'll label that A, plus $15 for every door ticket, whatever combination of A and D that is, it has to add up to $1,390. And therefore, I have one equation. That is one of my constraints. Whatever A and D are, it has to be $1,390. The other one isn't as intuitive, but if you think about it, it kind of is. In that you only have two tickets here. You have the advance and the door tickets. So whatever combination, advance plus door, has to equal 120. So now you have these two equations. The goal here is to find what combination of advance and door tickets works for both. You're trying to find the intersection point, just like you were doing throughout this review. So to do that, this problem is set up for elimination. If you don't feel confident with using the elimination method, you could use substitution, but either way, there are some videos on Schoology that you should watch that go over that method. I'm going to use elimination, and to do that, I'm going to choose to cancel out the A. Or in other words, I'm going to multiply the top equation by 10, so that way I have 10A plus 10D equal to 1,200. Sorry, 1,200. There we go. If you want to cancel the D, you could do that by multiplying the top equation by 15 instead. That would be fine. That'd actually be a little more quicker or efficient of finding the actual answer. But this approach will work just as well. So now that I have the same amount of A's, or in other words, 10A, I'm going to subtract. So 10A minus 10A is 0. 15D minus 10D is 5D. 1,390 minus 1,200 is 190. And now all I'm going to do is divide by 5. And I believe my answer is 38. So 38 door tickets. So now that I know it was 38 door tickets, I can go back to my first equation. Again, let me kind of circle it here. The A plus D equals 120. And I can substitute the 38 in for the D and basically solve for 120. Or, intuitively, subtract 120 by 38. 120 minus 38 gives me 82. You can kind of see that right there. Hold it up. There we go. So my A value is 82. And that is actually the answer we're looking for. How many of the tickets were purchased in advance? Our answer would be 82. So when you're doing these problems, you need to have two equations, especially if you're trying to figure out a system. So 34, here we have Willie and Tusakin are selling pies for a school fundraiser. Customers could buy cherry pies and pumpkin pies. Willie sold 6 cherry pies and 9 pumpkin pies for a total of $195. Pause there for a second. That's kind of important. I'm just going to make a little note there, little bracket. Tusakin sold 5 cherry pies and 3 pumpkin pies for a total of $86. Ooh, that's another nugget there. What is the cost? What is the cost each of? That doesn't make sense. But what's the cost of 1 cherry pie and 1 pumpkin pie? Okay. So I need an equation that represents 2 people, Willie and Tusakin. So let's figure that out. So Willie bought 6 cherry pies. 6 cherry pies, I'll put C, plus 9 pumpkin pies, I'll put P. And the total cost there was $195. Tusakin sold his for 5, or he had 5 cherry pies sold, plus 3 pumpkin pies for $86. We don't know the cost for either of those pies. So we need to figure out what's the combination of cherry and pumpkin pie that satisfy both Willie and Tosauken's fundraiser orders. So to do that, again, this is set up for elimination because you see how the variable's on the same side. So to do this problem, I need to figure out how to cancel one of them. Well, I'm looking, there's the C's aren't the same, the P's aren't the same, but I do notice that the 3P there, I can multiply that by 3 and then subtract because 3 times 3 is 9 and that would cancel it. So I am going to do that. So here we go. I'll multiply it by 3. That would give me, let me put it, I'm kind of running out of space here. Right here, 15C, because 3 times 5 is 15, plus 3 times 3P is 9P. And then 3 times 86, 86 times 3 is 258. You can kind of see it right there. 258. And that is my bottom equation. So I'm going to rewrite Willie's equation right here underneath. That way it's a little easier to see. And now if I subtract 15C minus 6C, that would give me 9C. 9P minus 9P is 0. 258 minus 195 gives me 63. And now I can just simply solve for C, divide by 9. 63 divided by 9 is 7. So I know the cost for the cherry pie is $7. Well, I need to figure out what the cost is for a pumpkin pie. So therefore, I'm going to replace the 7. Let me change colors really quick. Let's go purple. This 7 with C in either of the equations. I'm going to plug it into the bottom one. It seems easier to me, but again, either one will work. So this will be 5 times 7 plus 3P equal to 86. 5 times 7 is 35. And then I can subtract 35 to both sides. So minus 35, minus 35. 86 minus 35 gives me 51. And then, let me just write it here, 51. 51 divided by 3 is 17. So the cost of a cherry pie is $7. The cost of a pumpkin pie is 17, which that better be really good pumpkin pie because that is a ridiculous price tag for pumpkin pies. So that's 34. So 35, I'm not going to go over 35. I thought it'd be a fun little example for you to play with. So I'm going to skip that one and just focus on 36. And I'm going to show you the inequalities just to kind of help you see what's going on here. So 36, what you're doing is you're creating a system of inequalities. So that you're going to write inequalities, which means you're going to have an inequality symbol. So for this first one, it says Dino Nuggies contain 4 grams of protein and 6 grams of fat per serving. Cool. All right. Not sure why that's relevant, but I'm going to keep reading and see what else it says. Goldfish crackers contain 12 grams of protein and 4 grams of fat per serving. Great. I still don't know why I need all this information. It says I need to make a snack that contains at least 32 grams of protein and no more than 24 grams of fat. So I need to find some kind of inequality that represents protein and fat. Now I'm going to erase this so that way you can see the whole thought process. So if I look at protein, I have to contain at least 32. So in other words, I'm going to put 32 here on the right. You can put it on the left, doesn't matter. But whatever's on this side, I need it to be at least 32 or more. So right away, I'm going to put my inequality symbol like this because I need some combination of Dino Nuggies and Goldfish to be larger than 32. So if I go to the Dino Nuggies has 4 grams of protein. So let me write that as 4 grams of protein for every Dino Nuggie. So write that as 4D. And then the Goldfish crackers, they contain 12 grams of protein. So I'll write that as plus 12 grams of protein for every Goldfish. I'll put it as G. And the combination of those has to be larger than 32. So I have my inequality for the protein. So to make this a system of inequalities, I need to figure out what it would be for the fat. So if I look at the fat, they say the fat is no more than 24. So that means it has to be 24 or under. So if I put 24 here, That is the biggest I can go. And can it equal 24? Yes. So therefore, it's going to have an equal bar underneath it. So now let's look at the fat. So I'm looking at Dino Nuggies. Dino Nuggies have, let me erase this part, 6 grams of fat. So that's 6 grams for every Dino Nuggie serving. And then the goldfish have 4 grams of fat plus 4 grams for every goldfish. And whatever that combination is has to be under 24 because it can be no more than 24. So I have my 2 inequalities. There they are, which means I can now use them to help me answer the other questions. Because once I have those 2 inequalities, let's take a look. Which of the following combinations would work? Well, if you're looking at it, 2, 3 will work. And how do I know? Well, if you plug, let me write it as D, and G. If you plug 2 in for D and 3 in for G, let's just do it for the protein really quick. This is 8 times 2 plus 12 times 3. 8 times 2 is 16. 3 times 12 is 36. 36 plus 16 is 52. And that is larger than 32, so I know it works for that one. If I plug it into the bottom one, 6 times 2, that is 12. Plus 4 times 3, which is also 12. That does equal 24. So does it work? Yes. So I know that the 2, 3, in other words, 2 servings of Dino Nuggies and 3 servings of goldfish satisfy that system. So therefore that one work. You'll see all of them except the 0, 4 and the 2, 3 will not work because it must work for both. And the way that you can check them is by plugging in. So if I look, X is 1, or in other words, D is 1, let's just test that one out really quick. I'll plug it in the bottom one just to show you. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 times 5, which is 20. 6 plus 20 is 26. And notice 26 is not less than 24. So therefore, this is not a solution because it didn't work for the fat inequality. And that's what you're doing for all the other ones. So rather than me do every single problem or check every single one, I think you can do that and kind of get a sense for it not working or working for both. But remember, for it to be a solution to a system, it must work for both. And that's it. Hopefully that helps, and good luck on your assessment.